You've most likely seen buildings with fancy columns, used various words or phrases like panic or Achilles' heel, or seen movies like Hercules, Wrath of the Titans, or Troy. I've read books that are about Greek mythology, took the mythology class offered at the high school I attended, and I am currently taking the Greek Roman mythology class that is available at the community college in Elizabethtown. I will tell you about the influence that the ancient Greeks have on today's society. I want to describe how they influenced our architecture, our language, and the entertainment industry. You are probably vaguely familiar with the impact that various aspects of Greek culture have had on today's society. Let's take a look at some of the buildings with architecture that were inspired by the Greeks. The overall design of Capitol Hill was inspired by the styles that the Greeks used for their important public buildings. If you take a look at the website Architect of the Capitol, you will find that the architecture of Capitol Hill is called neoclassical. It even states in the overview on the page that it is based on the style of the public buildings in ancient Greece. This is a picture of Capitol Hill. You can see by the use of the dome and the Doric style of columns. This is the United States Capitol building. These are Corinthian columns. And this is the White House. These use the Ionic style of columns. And this is the Lincoln Memorial. Again, you can see the use of the Ionic columns as well as the statue of Abraham Lincoln. This is mirrored off of the basic setup of the temples they used. The Doric, Ionic, and Corinthian styles of Greek architecture, signified by the different types of columns, are the three major styles that have withstood the passage of time. These three types can be found on the Greek Gateway website, where it describes the columns in more depth. As you can see, Doric columns are plain with a flat top. These are the most common. The Ionic style of columns is a more intricate version of the Doric. It is distinguished from the other types by the curved top. The Corinthian style of columns is the most intricate and elegant of the three styles. Greek architecture can also be seen in many monuments, amphitheaters, theaters, arches, the use of domes, and even in some iconic fountains, such as those you would find in Rome, Italy. Now that you've seen some of the ways that the Greeks have influenced the designs of buildings, let's take a look at the area of communication. Much of our day-to-day vocabulary consists of words that owe their origin to the ancient Greeks. The planets in our solar systems, for example, were named after the Roman versions of the Greek deities. The moons are named after mythological figures that are important to that particular deity. Many of the constellations were named after important figures from Greek mythology. Andromeda and Cassiopeia, Orion, Perseus, Pegasus. These are just some of them. A large number of words that people use, without even realizing it, are derived from Greek mythology. If you visit the website Greek Mythology Today, you can find the Greek that the word originated from, as well as the general meaning. Atlas, serial, narcissism, martial, hypnosis, words we use that we got from the Greeks. Even some major companies owe their names to the ancient Greeks. Pandora, Amazon, and Nike. Greek deities, heroes, and myths are often used as the main component for books or movies. Whether it is an original or simply a remake of an older version, Hollywood is quite fond of using mythology as the basis for a movie. Found on a list made on Fandango, these are a few examples of mythology-based movies. Clash of the Titans, Jason and the Argonauts, O Brother, Where Art Thou?, a retelling of the Odyssey, and more recently, The Immortals. Several book series have been written that are based on mythology. Whether it's the gods and goddesses themselves, or new characters that have to deal with them or fight the monsters from the myths, authors use them to write their series. Percy Jackson and the Olympians by Rick Riordan, Nobody's Princess by Esther M. Friesner, using Helen of Troy, The Goddess Test by Amy Carter, and The Cronus Chronicles by Anna Sue are just a few of them. Whether it's a building, something you heard somewhere, or a new movie or book, you might be able to find all sorts of references to the ancient Greeks and their mythology. I have just described a few ways in which the ancient Greeks have influenced our society. They lent us architecture, words and phrases to use, and possible plot lines and characters to create a movie or book with. Now that you know a little about the contributions they have made to our society, try to find something else that we have today thanks to the Greeks or because of mythology.